What would you do if someone built a $6 million dream villa on your land, without even asking? Most people would explode with anger, but one man decided to play the long game. Meet David, a quiet landowner who inherited acres of property from his late father. For years, his land was untouched, almost forgotten, until a powerful HOA president, Linda, laid eyes on it. To her, it wasn't just empty land, it was the perfect spot for her luxurious retirement villa. Instead of checking the records or asking permission, she simply acted like it was hers. David knew what was happening. He watched construction trucks roll in, workers digging foundations, walls rising higher every week. Neighbors whispered, wondering why David wasn't fighting back. But David had a secret plan, a plan that would turn Linda's arrogance into his greatest victory. And as the villa neared completion, he stayed calm, silently preparing for the moment the world would turn upside down. The sound of hammers echoed across the valley as Linda's villa grew taller, grander, and more extravagant. Crystal windows, marble floors, imported furniture, she wanted nothing less than perfection. People praised her confidence, calling her a woman who got what she wanted. Yet behind every cheer, David stood in the shadows, quietly observing. He had proof of ownership, ironclad documents signed and sealed years ago. But instead of rushing to court, he waited. Let her build, he thought. Let her pour millions into what will never belong to her. His patience shocked everyone, even his closest friends. They warned him, David, you'll lose everything if you don't stop her now. But David only smiled. He understood something Linda never did, that pride comes before the fall, and arrogance has a price. Each stone she laid was only tightening the trap she didn't know she was walking into. Months passed, and the $6 million villa stood like a palace on David's land. Linda held parties, boasting about her achievement. Guests walked through glittering halls, sipping champagne, amazed at her so-called empire. But beneath the glamour was a dangerous lie: this home was built on land she didn't own. David kept every receipt, every photo, every record of construction. His silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Neighbors started to suspect the truth. Whispers spread through the community, isn't that David's property? Why hasn't he done anything? Linda dismissed the rumors with laughter, claiming David was irrelevant. But deep inside, she feared he might strike back. And she was right. Because David wasn't just waiting for the villa to be complete, he was waiting for Linda to bury herself so deep in her arrogance that she could never climb out. Finally, the day came. The villa was finished, a gleaming monument to Linda's pride. She invited the entire neighborhood for a grand unveiling. Cameras flashed, music played, and Linda smiled like a queen. Yet hidden beneath the celebration was the truth only David fully understood. That very morning, he walked into the county office, his documents in hand, and filed his claim. The officials were stunned. Every line on the deed confirmed it: this villa sat on David's land, and by law, the structure was his property. When Linda toasted her success that evening, she had no idea she had just built a palace for someone else. And while the crowd cheered, David prepared for the reveal that would shock everyone and shatter Linda's empire in one single move. The shockwave hit like a thunderclap. Days later, Linda received the official notice. Her million-dollar dream wasn't hers. The marble floors, the golden chandeliers, the acres of manicured lawns, all legally belonged to David. At first, she laughed, thinking it was some mistake. But when lawyers confirmed the truth, her laughter turned into silence. The neighborhood erupted in gossip. How could the powerful HOA president, the woman who bullied others with rules and fines, lose everything so publicly? David, on the other hand, stayed calm. He didn't gloat, didn't shout, didn't even raise his voice. His victory wasn't in humiliating her, it was in reclaiming what was rightfully his. But Linda wasn't ready to surrender. She swore she would fight, unaware that every step she took only tightened the noose around her pride. Courtrooms replaced parties. Instead of sipping champagne, Linda was signing legal documents, desperate to regain control. Her lawyers argued fiercely, but the evidence was undeniable. The land was David's, the villa stood on his soil, and by law, everything built on that soil belonged to him. The judge's gavel struck, sealing Linda's fate. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, asking David how he felt about suddenly owning a $6 million home he didn't build. His response was simple, calm, and unforgettable: patience always pays. That one line spread like wildfire, turning David into a symbol of quiet strength and justice. Linda, meanwhile, walked away in silence, her reputation shattered, her empire gone. She had built her dream on someone else's foundation, and lost it all. David now stood at the gates of his new villa, the sun setting behind the marble walls. Neighbors watched in awe as the man they once doubted became the unexpected victor. He hadn't raised his voice, hadn't lifted a hand in anger, he had simply let arrogance destroy itself. Linda's downfall became a lesson to everyone: power without respect crumbles, and pride without truth collapses. David didn't just win a house, he won dignity, justice, and peace. As he walked through the grand halls, he thought of his father, the men who had left him this land. And with quiet gratitude, he whispered, "This is for you." The story of the men who waited, who let his enemy build her own downfall, spread far beyond the neighborhood, inspiring millions who heard it. And in the end, one truth remained clear: patience is the sharpest weapon of all.